So, as I mentioned, Randy sent me some books, and this one's called The Best Pet of All. And as I look at the cover, I notice there's a dragon on the front. So I'm thinking that Randy sent us the book because it has something to do with the dragon. And I'm wondering, what the title, The Best Pet of All, and the dragon is. Maybe it's about a boy who has a dragon for a pet. There's a boy, I think it's a boy, sitting on one of the stools next to the dragon. So as I, pick up my books, I start to think about what they might be, because we've talked about reading is thinking. So let's open the book and see what's inside. So here's the title page. It tells us the title, The Best Pet of All. And then I look at the boy, and it looks like he's drawing a sign, and it says dog. Now I'm confused because first I thought that it was going to be about a dragon, but I see he's drawing about a dog. So maybe it's a dragon, maybe it's a dog. And it tells me that the author is David La Rochelle. Now he happens to live in the Twin Cities. He's a local author, and it's illustrated. That means the pictures were drawn by Hanako Wakayama. Now on this book, on the left side, has the dedication where the author and the illustrator thank someone, and then the publisher's information, and then it jumps right into the story. So I'm going to start reading for you. On Monday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is a good pet, I said. No, she said, dogs are too messy. And I see Mom's busy doing some exercises, and I'm thinking it's, her son, bringing him a drink, and they're thinking about dogs being too messy. So maybe that's why he was drawing the sign for a dog. So let's see what happens now. On Tuesday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is a very good pet, I said. No, she says, dogs are too loud. And there's a little thought bubble above her head as she's busy cleaning that has a dog barking. So we had Monday, Tuesday. Next, I'm thinking it's going to be, Wednesday. On Wednesday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is the best pet of all, I said. No, she said, no dogs. She's been very clear about that. She does not want a dog. Do you think he'll ask her again? I don't know. Let's find out. On Thursday, I asked my mother if I could have a dragon. A dragon, she said. I've never heard of a dragon for a pet. She thought for a bit. Well, if you can find a dragon, you can keep it for a pet. I bet she's thinking that he'll never find a dragon, so she's off the hook. That's what I'm thinking. We'll find out, though. Do you think he finds a dragon? And where? Dragons are not easy to find. There were no dragons in the park. There were no dragons at the beach. There were no dragons in the woods, and there were no dragons at the zoo. At last, I found a dragon. This dragon was at the drugstore. He was wearing dark glasses and a hat. That's pretty funny. Usually people wear dark glasses and a hat so people don't see them, so maybe he's hiding from someone. I asked the dragon to come home with me, and the dragon said no. You can sleep in my bed, I said, and he still would not come. You can play with my toys, I said. And the dragon said yes. So finally he convinced the dragon to come home with him. Dragons like to play with toys, but they don't like to put them away. They do not help with chores, and they make a mess in a kitchen. I'm not thinking that a dragon's such a good pet to have. They roast hot dogs in the living room, and they dance to loud music all night long. Oh boy. What do you think they're going to do? My mother did not like this dragon. She asked the dragon to please leave, but the dragon would not go. She told the dragon to leave now, but the dragon still wouldn't go. Finally, my mother got angry. She stomped her foot. She told the dragon to leave this minute or else. Has anyone ever talked to you like that? Said or else? And you never know what that or else is, but you know that they're being really serious, and you better get doing what you're supposed to be doing, but I don't think the dragon followed directions. The dragon just shook his head and went back to eating spaghetti in the bathtub. That's silly. Too bad we don't have a dog, I said. Dragons do not like dogs. Now, what was the pet he wanted all along? Oh, yeah, he wanted a dog. Huh. The dragon looked worried. Dragons are afraid of dogs, I said, and the dragon began to shake. A dog would chase the dragon away, I said, and the dragon ran to my toy box and jumped inside. Maybe you are right, my mother said. Maybe we need a dog. So I put a sign in the window, dog wanted, and soon there was a knock on the door. Now remember how the mom didn't want a dog, but somehow the boy tricked her or convinced her that she really did want a dog. So there was a knock at the door, and it was a dog. The dragon saw the dog. He grabbed his hat and he ran out the door. Yes, I said, a dog is the best pet of all. So he got what he wanted in the end. What he really wanted was a dog. I don't think he really wanted a dragon. I think he really wanted a dog. I wonder why Randy gave us this book. It's not very flattering of dragons. Although maybe it just means that dragons aren't meant to be pets, but they're pretty fun to be around otherwise. It'd be fun to go roast hot dogs and sit in spaghetti in a bathtub, as long as it wasn't my own house, I guess. Here's another one of my favorite books that I wanted to share with you. It's called Brown Bear, What Do You See? It's by Bill Martin with the illustrations by Eric Carle. Maybe you've read this one. This is a pretty popular one that a lot of people have read. But this one has some really good patterns in it, so I want you to look for the patterns as we read the book. This is the inside, the end papers of the book, and it gives me a hint as to what's going to happen. There are all these different animals, and I'm thinking that all these animals are going to be in the book. What animals do you notice? Here's the title page, Brown Bear, What Do You See? By Bill Martin, pictures by Eric Carle, and then the little print on the left side is all the publishing information for this book. Brown Bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. Red bird, what do you see? I see a yellow duck looking at me. Yellow duck, what do you see? Are you starting to see a pattern here? The first page on the left has the name of the animal, and it's always going to say looking at me. And then on the second page of the spread, there's always going to be that animal repeated twice, and then what do you see? I see a blue horse looking at me. Blue horse, what do you see? I see a green frog looking at me. Green frog, what do you see? I see a purple cat looking at me. Purple cat, what do you see? I see a white dog looking at me. White dog, what do you see? I see a black sheep looking at me. Black sheep, what do you see? I see a goldfish looking at me. Goldfish, what do you see? I see a teacher looking at me. Teacher, what do you see? I see children looking at me. Children, what do you see? We see a brown bear, a red bird, a yellow duck, a blue horse, a green frog, a purple cat, a white dog, a black sheep, a goldfish, and a teacher looking at us. That's what we see. I like this book because of the patterns. So when we talk about reading is thinking, patterns help us make predictions and help us think about what we're reading. So what I want you to do when you're reading today, whether you're reading an independent book or if you're reading a book in Epic or someone's reading to you, I want you to look for the patterns in the book to think about what are you thinking as you're reading and how are the patterns helping you think. And I want you to share about what you notice in your reading journal. Happy reading!